Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about multiplying and dividing integers. It is very important that you all remember that dividing and multiplying has a totally different set of rules than adding and subtracting. You have to keep that in mind. I know a lot of you get those rules mixed up. That is a sure way of getting a problem wrong. So let's look at it. When we divide and multiply, the number one rule that we have to remember is this one. When you multiply or divide two positives, your answer is always going to be a positive. Same thing when you multiply or divide two negatives, your answer is always going to be a positive. And I'll show you why in a second. However, if you multiply or divide a positive by a negative, your answer is always going to be a negative. Same thing for if you multiply or divide a negative by a positive. So we can observe that every time that we divide or multiply two numbers with the same sign, our answer is always going to be positive. Vice versa, if we multiply or divide two numbers with a different sign, our answer is always going to be a negative. Another way that you can remember this, I like to teach to my students, is this. The friend of my friend is my friend. So if you have a friend and your friend has another friend, obviously that's also your friend. However, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So if you have an enemy and your enemy also has another enemy, you guys are friends because you dislike the same person. The friend of my enemy is my enemy. And the enemy of my friend is my enemy. If you have a best friend and your best friend has an enemy, you're not going to get along with that person, right? So that's your enemy. So that's just a fun way of remembering that. So let's look at some problems. Let us begin with a multiplication problem. We have negative 3 times positive 5. Now, I certainly do hope that all of you know that 3 times 5 is 15. That shouldn't be a problem. No pun intended. 15. However, the real question is that going to be a positive 15 or a negative 15? Again, we have to go back to our multiplication rules. We're multiplying a negative number by a positive number. Therefore, you should know that the answer is going to be a negative because the enemy of my friend is my enemy, right? So your answer is going to be a negative 15. Now, if we are multiplying a negative 3 times a negative 5, the absolute value of my answer is still going to be a 15. However, this time it's going to be a positive 15. Why? Because I'm multiplying a negative number by another negative number. Therefore, my answer is going to be a negative. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Same sign, positive answer. Same goes for division. If I'm dividing negative 25 by 5, right? My answer is going to be a 5. However, it's going to be a negative 5 because I'm dividing a negative number by a positive number, right? So my answer is going to be negative. It's going to be a negative 5. Once again, make sure that you understand the difference between your subtraction, addition rules versus your multiplication and division rules. You cannot use the friend-enemy rule for adding or subtracting. We went over that in the first video, so please make sure that you understand that and keep that difference in mind.